Playing time is not required. This is the End of the Bench podcast from 100.7 The Score.
Happening. Happy Tuesday. Good morning and welcome onto the End of the Bench on 100.7 The Score, 107thescore.com, and the 100.7 The Score mobile app. Brought to you as always by Happy State Bank alongside the one and only Geoff Haxton. I'm Chois Woodman. Lucas White across the way taking care of us. You too can join us. Your thoughts, your comments, your questions, all welcome on the Yates Flooring Center chat line through that 100.7 The Score mobile app. Got plenty to get into on this Tuesday. Tuesday means Tiers of 12. So we'll have our football Tiers of 12. Is it too early for basketball? Or you want to go ahead and stab at it? No.
Yes.
Okay.
We, at the same time, can make fun of the University of Oklahoma.
Okay. I'm okay with that.
But I am not okay with doing Tiers of 12 just yet. I mean,
I think we got to see
give
a
it
little bit more.
give it a little bit.
We'll give it a few weeks and then get an idea on the Tiers of 12 in basketball. But we do have I say that. We have no idea what's going on in football, and it's been 9 or 10 weeks
Very true.
of
Good
the
point.
season, and we're still going to throw those out there, including some pretty good games this weekend. But speaking of basketball, Game 1 is in the books for the Red Raider basketball team. I think you could say it went as planned. I mean, you win the game. I don't think we covered the spread. No.
Nope, no cover.
No cover, but close. It was around what the spread was.
They hit too many 30-footers.
They did hit a lot of those down the stretch. Just jack it up and toss it in there. Still held them 49 points. Red Raiders get the victory last night.
I'd love to see I don't ever usually get a post book, but
Shot
I'd love
chart.
to have gotten one last night to see the shot chart. I mean,
chart would be pretty.
That would be something to see because they had one guy, that Dane Prim, who shot somewhat close to the basket. No layups, you know, a few they kind of flailed up there, but for the most part, 23, 28, 30 feet threes.
Yeah, it was one of those where, you have to have a few prayers or it's going to be a 50-point game. I got a few to go through, but I don't know that the game could have gone much more to script than what we saw. I mean, you saw obviously there's things you're going to nitpick at. 20 turnovers is far too many, but everything we kind of heard in the offseason, your eyes kind of confirmed that last night. Bacho, young players doing better shooting team, all of this. It seemed like, hey, what the coaches are telling us, what you told us from practice, we saw a whole lot of that last night. One game out of 30-something this year, but I really liked the product that we saw last night.
I did too, and we'd heard that these guys are going to be able to move the ball crisply, and we saw that with all the assists, 19 assists. Not to mention Bacho had 4 assists. That's a career high. His first double-double.
Yep.
But you had guys ready to play. Pop Isaac's first shot that he takes is in. Lamar Washington, first shot that he takes is in. There were 2 more occasions of guys that were on that court for their first time that the first shot they took, it went in. So those guys were ready to play.
Yep. And
that was great to see because you can look pretty close around the league for examples of maybe not quite as ready as they should have been.
I think there's no question about that. TCU should have lost. I know you were in game.
Okay, what happened? They were 35-point favorites.
Oh, my gosh. I didn't watch until like the last 4 minutes of the game. I do the watch on the phone while I got the tech game on, and then the finish of the game was during halftime, so it was perfect. I'm sitting there watching. Pine Bluff just keeps getting shots to go through, keeps connecting, and then has a turnover late, or really they kind of took the foot off the gas offensively, slowed it down, and got a bad shot late in the shot clock. They led by 4 inside the final minute.
Oh, my gosh.
I know. And I'm like, all right, it's coming. And then Miles hits a three-pointer to take the lead, 71-70, I believe it was.
Wow.
Then, I mean, TCU still was screwing up down the stretch. Pine Bluff got an 8-footer on the baseline.
Missed it.
Pretty clean look. Hit it off the back of the rim and missed. It would have been the game winner. It was at the
So
buzzer.
I saw last night where 11 bye games went to the teams that got the check. So 11 teams like the ones we're talking about.
So the Sam Houston State one and
the Northwestern
Norman.
states of the world that were on the road just to get a check
Yeah.
and fund their athletic departments. Actually, 11 of those that got checks got wins. So that's a crazy opening night, and you didn't have any of that drama.
Yeah.
And when you think about the 80%, 85% of that team as far as production is new, then it's a great night. And then I totally underestimated the crowd, saying 13,500. It was, let's see. It was even, it's hard to describe it because I think it had even more energy than like a Kansas State or an Iowa State
Yeah.
home game
Well,
in the middle of conference season. It had almost like, and not quite, like Baylor, Kansas type energy in that student section. No hyperbole.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
That crowd, again, that's an opening night. Like, you look around the league, and I get you can't really judge Baylor completely. They played
There was nobody
10
in
the morning.
Stillwater. They had the same doubleheader.
Stillwater, OU. I mean, that's
There's
an empty
never
arena.
anybody at
I
OU.
get that, but still, I mean, this is an opening night against Sam Houston. I mean, sorry, against Northwest. I'm already thinking of OU against Northwestern State, and your crowd showed up, and the students brought the energy. So I think as part of it, Hax, how could you not
Yeah.
have the energy as a basketball team? How could you come out and play a dud game if you have that kind of energy feeding in your arena? It would be really hard to do. So that was really cool to see this basketball atmosphere. What
It
it's
was a
turned
blue
into.
blood crowd.
Yeah.
Blue blood programs fill it up if the door's open.
Yeah, and that's where you've gotten to. with
And
Tech
it's
basketball.
amazing to say it that Texas Tech, and again, don't take any of it for granted, because I've seen it be this way and go away, and it stays away for a long time. Appreciate every second of it, but hey, congratulations. That's a blue blood crowd.
Amazing. But team looked good. We will get to the breakdown more so of each player, of what we saw from each player, and how much of that can be expected throughout the season, where the rotations narrowed down to, all of that, including
USC
someone
lost
asking
to
about
Florida Gulf Coast.
the Eagles.
Dunk City.
Dunk City. That's what I was trying to remember. Lots more on the chat line. Someone asking about Kerwin Walton, that sort of thing. We'll get to a lot of that
And
as
some
we
sound
roll
from
off.
Adams.
Yeah, we'll hear from Coach Adams from after the game last night. Tears of 12 coming your way about 9:45 as well. It's the end of the bench. Roll until noon on 100.7 The Score.
Definitely not the starters. You're on the End of the Bench podcast from 100.7 The Score.
On to hour number 3. It's the end of the bench on 100.7 The Score, 107thescore.com, and the 100.7 The Score mobile app. Brought to you by Happy State Bank. Yours now for your viewing pleasure on television. Fox 34 News Now. To my right, that is Geoff Haxton. I'm Chois Woodman. Jackson Frazier across the way. What's up, Mr. Hare?
Nothing much. How are you guys doing today?
Pretty good.
I got the old treatment at the sports haircut place yesterday again.
Yeah.
Geoff.
Geoff.
Then
They don't even attempt mine.
I get seated, and it is the slowest haircut in history. I think that was probably the third haircut she'd ever done in her entire life.
Do you like getting haircuts?
Well, when somebody's knows what they're doing, yeah. I was sitting in that chair for 45 minutes, and the other girl had to come clean everything up, and still, I got butchered.
At this point, almost always mine is two names, either Woodman, I'll just call the last name. Almost always.
That's the way I get
Or
it.
the other one is, they'll just walk up to me. How do you say your name? That's the other one. Like, how do you say your name?
Well, these girls always guess, and they always guess wrong.
They don't even attempt mine.
Geoff?
Most of the time. I did hear Siri say my name yesterday. I don't know how. Or I think I sent a text message to myself as a reminder. You ever do that?
No.
I do.
No.
She went with Chois. Chois. So, yeah. Anyway. Geoff is awesome.
Geoff?
Someone says on the chat line.
Geoff?
We got plenty on the Yates Flooring Center chat line. We'll play some catch up there. Keep getting your thoughts, your comments, your questions all in on the Yates Flooring Center chat line. We gave our Final Four predictions. Again, these are complete crapshoot. It would be surprising if you get more than one of these right.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I mean, because right now there's probably 25 teams in the country that could win a national championship. Now, like if you're getting really realistic, you probably narrow that to half. 12 or 13 teams that are like, these teams could vie for a national championship right now. But, I mean, reality, there will be teams that appear throughout the season, all of that. Lucas, do you remember who he said?
Yeah, I wrote it down.
Okay, he said, I'm going to write it down too.
Zags, Duke, Tennessee, Baylor.
Zags, Duke, Tennessee, Baylor for his. Who are you going with? I'm on the spot. Jackson, no preparation.
The less
time
you
at
think,
all.
probably the better on this.
I'll probably go Zags, Duke, Houston,
So three of us with Houston now.
and then I'll just go Tech.
Hey, two with Tech. Why not? It's the why not. Right now, and Hex, the odds I gave you 2 weeks ago as Tech,
They're good.
wherever 10 to 12. I can't remember where, but
You get Big
Odds are
Maple
good.
with those guys, and you could be in the Final Four. You never know.
yeah, fresh legs
Because they're going
on
to
that
play
too.
defense.
Yeah,
Defense is not going to be an issue
no doubt.
unless you give up offensive rebounds like the 4 they gave up in one trip. But
Probably not great.
I've seen some of the best Tech teams that I've covered here in these 7 years do that. It's not unheard of.
You know what? A lot of the teams you've covered here haven't done well is shoot the ball consistently. If you can do
Very
that,
true.
then that gets really, that turns you into a really dangerous team. You shot well last night, generally speaking. You got guys, multiple options that appear that they can shoot from beyond the arc. And that's one thing, just it seemed really apparent to me, Hax.
Did somebody
from last
on
night.
the chat line have something about Kerwin Walton?
Yeah, someone. I've got a few basketball thoughts I've held over. Not a lot. Someone just said, "How about?" It was just how about Kerwin Walton? Now, what'd you see from him? Do you see that being consistent? Or?
Yes. Yeah, that's him.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Because what we
gotta
heard
remember-
more so is that he's a 3-point specialist, but he was around the rim a lot last night.
Yeah. You got to just take snapshots of what they've done in the past. And he led North Carolina in 3-point makes with 58 his freshman year. Now, last year, the year that they went all the way,
Change of coach.
change of coach, change of a lot of things, he only had, I think, 20.
I think he averaged like 3 points.
His minutes got cut
game.
way down, and therefore you transfer to Texas Tech. So, but yeah, I think that's who he is. Absolutely, that's what he's here for. And maybe this is a good thing because my biggest question mark going into last year, as far as playing time, was Adonis Arms. My biggest question about fit and playing time for what is this guy going to be? Was Adonis Arms. I get that feeling from Damarian Williams as well this year. I don't know exactly how he fits.
Yeah, I agree with you. Damarian has that good feel to him, but just kind of wedging him in as a puzzle piece somewhere. Someone on the chat line earlier said, favorite part of last night's game, Elijah Fisher got pulled and was clearly moping walking to the bench. Jalen Tyson stopped him, talked to him, and Fisher's body language was completely different the rest of the game. Gotta love players coaching up players.
That's good because
That's how
this
that
is
feels.
not prep school.
Yep.
You're not going to be out there for 38 minutes.
Yeah, I think that
If you're Elijah Fisher, you will be happy, thrilled to average 20 minutes this year because he had 15 last night. You're going to get taken out a bunch.
Yeah.
A bunch.
How about the hustle play, though?
That was great.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
The block shot against the
Stuff.
backboard. Yeah, I'm curious, just like you're talking about with Williams, I'm curious what Fisher's role looks like this year. I mean, where does he fit in? Because judging, which is unfair to do, off of one night, if you have your normal rotation of 7.5 players, I mean,
He's at the back end.
that's your 5 starters that you talked about.
Yeah.
Eventually, you think AMAC's going to be in the mix there, so then that's going to take minutes away from someone else. So, yeah, I don't know where Fisher fits in to that mix. And maybe he forces his way into it. Maybe he does. He's that good defensively or offensively. But at the moment, Walton feels like he's definitely a guy that's going to be in the mix. And then it's kind of a guessing game from there. How much time does Robert Jennings get? Because you can't keep Bacho out there all the time. There's going to be times where he gets in foul trouble. Is Jennings and Allen both? I mean, is it just they kind of split the time when?
No, Allen's going to be. KJ will play more than Jennings. Jennings will be 4 to 5 minutes a game.
Okay. He had 10 last night, but obviously it's last night.
When you're playing in Maui,
Yeah.
3-4 minutes. He will be soak up a foul, give a breather, and hopefully get 2-3 rebounds and a putback. There you go. That's what you need from him.
Bring us your thoughts, your comments, your questions, what you saw from last night. We're going to get back to football on the other side of a few headlines. Quarterback situation. Got a little clarity yesterday. We'll get Hax's thoughts on that and look ahead. It's the end of the bench on 100.7 The Score.
Definitely not the starters. You're on the End of the Bench podcast from 100.7 The Score.
Thanks for joining us today. It is a Tuesday with the End of the Bench. Keep them coming on the Yates Flooring Center chat line. Some thoughts on quarterback, basketball, a little bit of everything there. We'll get back to some of that. Get the questions in. Ask the Benchwarmers. 30 minutes from right now. We'll take questions of any and all sorts. But right now, Hack's time to hit you with a few headlines on this Tuesday, November the 8th. We'll start with what's on our airwaves tonight. That's the High School Fan Zone. Listen in tonight at 7 o'clock to hear coaches from Monterey and Lubbock High joining Tommy Wood in the First United Bank studio to talk about their teams. Kind of a shift between football and basketball going on with the Fan Zone. Some teams staying with football, some moving into basketball season as far as the Fan Zone goes on. But you can listen in at 7 o'clock here on 100.7 The Score. Elsewhere in the NBA last night, saw the Dallas Mavericks sneaking by. They get the win over the Brooklyn Nets 96-94 yesterday evening. Saw the Spurs losers yesterday as they come up short. Can't get this to load. Rockets won in Orlando as well. So they pick up the victory on the road. All three of those Texas NBA teams. Actually, every NBA team is off tonight. Not a single NBA game because why, Hacks?
Election day.
They want you to vote. I don't know how NBA games and voting go hand in hand, but I guess, actually, I think they're opening up every arena in the NBA as a voting location. I think that's why they've chosen to do that. So
sounds like a good plan.
Good for them. Go vote. You can.
I got a good headline here from Don Williams.
Bring it.
From the AJ, of course. Tech senior safety, Rabbit,
Rabbit.
Adrian Taylor Demerson says he plans to stay here and play again in 2023 on the COVID bonus season.
Wow.
He says, quote, I love Lubbock and I like playing for Coach McGuire, end quote.
That's big news.
Yeah, there you go.
One I didn't expect to get till after the season. If you can get both of your corners
Must have
back.
just done it because Don just tweeted it.
Yeah, they're meeting, I believe, right now with I think the players meet about 11
That's
o'clock.
pretty good to get that information out of a player right now.
That's huge.
Which means he clearly has no plans to do other than what he said.
Right.
Yeah.
I think if you could get him and Rashad Williams back, man, that's huge. Think about the defense where you're sitting right now. You feel pretty good about the unit. I think, Hax, you've got 39 players that have taken, and this, I got to credit Ben Golan for the stat.
Saw that. Yeah.
39 players that have taken a snap on offense this year, and all 39 have eligibility remaining. Now, whether they take it or not, it's up to them, but that's on offense. Defense-wise, you're sitting pretty similar. You've got almost everybody that's available to come back if they want to. So the COVID year, you could really take some benefit there or have some benefits and take advantage of it. Real quick, a couple more headlines for you. Texas Tech hoops last night. Lady Raiders victorious in game 1 of the season.
When I turned it on, they were down 19-6. I was like,
Not a great start. But 69-49 win over the Islanders of Texas A&M Corpus Christi. They're not back in action for 8 days. So 7 days from today. Next Tuesday, they'll play against Jackson State. Red Raiders, however, winners last night over Northwestern State. They won at 73-49. They will be back in action on Thursday night. You can catch the game on both Double T 97.3 as well as right here on 100.7 The Score. You'll be able to tune that one in later this week.
with a full pregame this time.
That's right, full pregame.
That will be going on during Red Raider football with Joey McGuire.
That's right. Well, Red Raider football with Joey McGuire will actually be here on The Score this week, because we'll have full pregame starting at 6 on Double T 97.3, and then we'll pick up the basketball game on 100.7 The Score after pregame following Red Raider football with Joey McGuire. So all sorts of opportunities for you. You mentioned Don Williams' name.
That's why I brought it up.
You triggered it.
Yep.
Good job.
Push you right into what you've been getting to.
So Don, I think he's doing it on purpose at this point. I don't know. I haven't talked to. I do talk to Don Williams. I like him. I haven't talked to him about this particular thing, but Don Williams is a AP poll voter. He has had fan bases on his butt, chewing at his ankles all year long. Heck, he's done this for several years now. The Central Florida fan base was the one that really hated him for a while. I mean, he would leave them pretty far down or out of the polls when everybody else is kind of boosting him up. Right now, it's the TCU fan base that's on him.
Okay.
They can't stand Don. They hate his guts. TCU, their highest ranking comes in at 3 from 3 different voters. Their lowest ranking for TCU comes in. Hold on, I'm trying to. Oh, there it is, right there at number 6. Sorry. 7 from Don Williams. TCU is ranked 7 by Don Williams.
Can you imagine letting one voter
people
get under your skin
hate
like that?
him. Hate it.
One voter's opinion.
He embraces it too. He does. So Don's votes this week were Georgia number 1, Ohio State 2, Michigan 3. He went Tennessee 4, Bama 5. So Don is also the highest Bama voter out of anybody. No one else has them in the top 5 in the country. There's 3 voters. Jack Ebling, Mike Bernardino. Was that right? Berardino, sorry. And Nathan Baird all have Alabama at 6. And then no one else has them better than 8th. So there's 4 voters that like Alabama a lot. Anyway, I don't know if Don's doing it on purpose, but he has learned to embrace the social media, and he responds to so many of these fans.
Yeah, it doesn't matter who you are, if you got 3 followers or if you're Joel Klatt.
Yeah, he has gone back at Joel Klatt, but it's pretty good. Anyway, I'm for it. Don, take TCU down to the ground. Bury them. And then, if Vegas is right on TCU this week, 7-point underdogs to Texas. Did you realize it was that big? It's a big number. 7-point underdogs.
Believe it or not, I had not heard that.
Yeah. The Horny Toads are 7-point
It could have been
underdogs.
so much like LeBron right there.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. You know what? Before the week, I said they were going to be 7-point underdogs.
My buddies and I were talking after the games on Saturday, and I said they were going to be 7-point underdogs.
Totally. I mean, yeah. That's my favorite. That's my favorite phrase.
Yeah.
It's my favorite. 7-point underdogs for TCU currently at Texas. If Vegas is correct, then Don just gets to say, I told you so to all the TCU people this week. They're like, I told you. They weren't that good.
You ever had anybody in the media business that you worked with, and this probably happened when you're really young, but I was 19 or 20 and interning at Channel 9 in Oklahoma City, and that's where Bill Tegans worked. He was my mentor. He died in the plane crash coming back from Colorado, but he was the man. He was the sports director, and Dean Blevins was his kind of secondary guy, and Dean would get on the Sunday night show and said, well, I watched this as he didn't watch a thing. If it wasn't OU football, he had not watched it.
Yeah.
But he lied every
time.
Sunday. I just, and if you're not in there, you don't see these people work and their work ethic. You don't know. That's why he's trying to say he's this expert in everything. Dude never watched a thing.
I totally believe it. I've been around people that have acted like they've watched. There's people that will do the box score thing and act like they watched it. It's so obvious.
Yeah, you can tell. I mean, you should be able to tell, and I think our listeners can tell.
I think so. I try to be transparent with that stuff. No, didn't want to watch that. Or like last night, I wanted to go to the game, but didn't get a chance, and I didn't go.
But Dean would have said he was there.
Yeah, exactly. I have been around plenty of people that are like that. Oh, yeah, I was there. I was there last night. But you try to be transparent. Be honest. Smart people can sniff it out. Small Town Raider says, could Muddy Waters play again next year? I believe he's out. I think he only was able to come back this year because he had a medical redshirt year. I don't know. I say that and then fully understand I don't get all the COVID stuff, so maybe there's a chance.
Yeah, I don't either. Baylor had a volleyball player that was 24 on her fourth
nuts.
stop.
That's nuts. Crazy. Doctor at that point, huh? All right. So
should be.
Plenty more on the Yates Flooring Center chat line. Get back to that. Some more tech hoops, football, quarterback thoughts. Coming up next on 100.7 The Score.
Playing time is not required. This is the End of the Bench podcast from 100.7 The Score.
You got the End of the Bench on 100.7 The Score and 107thescore.com. He's Geoff Haxton. I'm Chois Woodman. Keep it coming on your thoughts, your comments, your questions. All welcome on the Yates Flooring Center chat line through the 100.7 The Score mobile app. Try to fit in as much as we can. First tax, something really important. I'm here for the important stuff. A list. You know me and my lists.
Okay, let's do it. List time.
You haven't liked all my lists lately, but this one I think you can
relate to.
Thank you. 12 things people like less as they get older.
Okay. Spicy foods.
No.
Maybe?
Not on there, but that's actually pretty good. No spicy foods.
I think that should be on there. I think that's pretty universal.
Yeah, I'd say so. Except I say that as I've aged, I like spicy foods more than I used to. I'm sure there will be a tip over the mountain eventually.
I'd say my love of spicy stuff peaked about 30.
Okay.
And then it's plateaued. and just slightly come down.
Come
I
down a
still
little.
love spicy stuff. Love it.
Like, I like spicy, but not to the point where I'm losing the taste on the food. Spicy. Like, if it's so hot. Had some Indian food that's just like, I'm sweating eating it.
See, I like that.
Oh, profusely sweating.
I don't want to profusely sweat. but
Any
I
other
like-
guesses at things we like less as we age? There's one I think is very obvious. For
Lawn
you.
care.
No.
I mean, as you get older, you don't want to mow the lawn anymore. Most folks.
I don't know. That's kind of a peaceful time for me. I do like mowing the lawn.
But if you're 65 and you can't really mow the lawn anymore.
Sure.
I guess I'm not any good at this. What do you got?
Number one is social media.
That's social media.
I enjoy it less the older I get. 2, waiting. Does anybody ever like waiting? I mean, I don't know. For that one, I feel like I've gotten more patient with my age than I used to be. I used to be less impatient or more impatient.
Yeah, I've gotten more patient.
Yeah.
And with the girl who was doing the slow-mo haircut and really just taking a hatchet to my head, I gave her a big tip because
very nice.
Yeah, I'm getting more patient.
Shoot, I just waited on a plane for 8.5 hours.
Oh my God, that is the ultimate test of patience.
Drinking alcohol, that's got to be up there, right? Like that you don't like to do it as much when you.
I don't know, man.
You don't drink near as much as you used to, right?
No,
So-
gosh, no. But I
it says especially getting drunk.
yeah,
That's the part.
because you now as you get older and something you could wake up from the next day and be fine. It takes you 2 days to recover. Nobody wants to feel that way.
Loud places like bars and parties, loud noises in general.
Definitely.
Yep, for me. But that's been since like high school. So, shopping for anything, even groceries.
I love going to shop for groceries.
Okay. Driving.
Except the price tag at the end.
Driving, it doesn't bother me.
Love driving.
Video games.
Love video games.
More or less than you used to.
I crashed an F-18 Bobcat last night.
Into someone's university?
No, it would have been about New Deal.
No, so you weren't just flying into stadiums?
I was seeing how fast I could make it from Tulsa. I made it in 28 minutes and crashed.
And crashed a New Deal because you overshot?
No, I just fell out of the air.
Oh.
Slowed down too much.
Holidays? Bull. I like those even better. Well, I mean, the presents part, not as much, but
I'm a big fan of holidays.
holidays are great. Staying up late.
Big fan of staying up late.
Yeah, definitely. I'm not as much of a fan there. Sex scenes in movies. Snow. I love snow.
Love snow.
I love snow. And French fries.
What a terrible list.
I think it was about 50-50. Half of those. Jackson, have you felt yourself getting older yet? There any on that list?
Not
really
at all.
relating
Right, Jackson?
with?
Not at all.
I mean, I don't feel like I'm getting older. I have like more responsibilities, so I can't like go out as much as I used to. But
You're what, 24?
yeah,
Okay.
You're in the prime.
Prime. Look at that flowing mane. A few from the chat line. This one from earlier. Hax has Tech received their weekly apology from the Big 12 coordinator of officials this
It's
week.
got to be probably today.
I think I don't know if they submit them on Monday or they get their answers on Monday, but yeah.
I bet you they submit Sunday and get their answers either today or tomorrow, or yesterday or today.
We were talking about the TCU Texas game. Michael says, one, I don't want TCU because then everyone will say we didn't get Sonny. TCU to win. Two, I don't want Texas to win because, well, it's Texas and that means Baylor or K-State. I'm fine with that. That was when we were talking about who we want to see win the Big 12 championship this year. K-State's the best option, but I don't even know if that's like it would take some math, some difficult to math to get K-State back into Big 12 title contention because of tiebreakers and such. A couple more from the chat line. Sorry, I'm catching up. Speaking of loud, I love the atmosphere, but I can't hear anything at the men's basketball games anymore. I will say it's harder to hear in the upper deck. If you're ever up there, the the PA is difficult to hear. But you're not there to hear stuff in the first place. You're there to make noise and enjoy it.
Our press room is for last year and now this year is upstairs halfway there where you walk in from the gates.
Yeah.
And you can just, even way before, you can feel the energy coming up.
Yeah.
From down below.
It's you can literally feel it.
I have to say this, and I don't want to be crass about it, but there was a certain number that the student section was cheering for in the women's game. Let's just say they had
to look at it.
They had 62 points, so they were chanting 7 more points. Okay. They got 65. They're chanting 4 more points. Then they started to boo Texas Tech actions that would have taken them off of the destination.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm sitting behind the women's bench, and they're so into it, but they start to figure out what's going on. And it was a GA who was like, oh my God. And he just lost it, started laughing. And then the next thing you know, almost the entire bench was laughing except for Coach Gerlich. And it was just,
oh my God.
I felt terrible being old school guy I am with my 14-year-old daughter sitting there. But it was comical. It was very comical.
Sorry. And, childish me is cracking up at that.
Yeah, Beavis.
Beavis, yep. This from the Yates Flooring Center chat line. Not that it needs to be debated, but I'll take Jalen over McSellout and TJ all day. Dude is a leader, shooter, and culture guy that we haven't had since Keenan left. We are so much better.
Who did you say?
Jalen over McSellout and TJ McCullough.
Okay, I was thinking McClung.
McSellout, I guess, is
Jalen
Tyson.
Oh God.
He said, I think this was going
I
back
was
to
comparing guards there. I don't know. I got really thrown off.
I think he's talking about the leadership of the moment with Elijah Fisher and the keep your head up moments, change your body language, that sort of thing. He said we were so much better with him in the lineup. I mean, I'm not going to sit there and say that.
Don't forget you cracked Kansas last year without
either of those guys. Wait. Yeah, it was either of them.
They did not.
You beat
play.
Baylor without McCullough, right? McCullough was out for the Baylor game on the road.
Yeah, no. He played because he got interviewed after the game.
So it was TJ that was out. TJ was out for the – that's right. TJ was out for the
But
Baylor
what you're
game.
thinking of, that was his first game back.
McCullough's first game back. Yeah, that's right. To be honest, this is going back to the college football playoff. TCU wouldn't beat anyone in the top 4. I think, or that was actually talking about Don's top 4. And I guess when you look at college football rankings, playoff, all of that, if you had Don Williams vote, are you voting based off of, hey, this is how I see these teams if they're matching up, or this is what these teams have earned up to this point? What? Because that's basically how you have to do it, one or the other. Because TCU, if I look at the top 4, I'm probably saying, no, they're not winning any of those games. But how much earning do you have to say? They're 9-0 right now in a tough league. So I don't know. I don't know what the right thing is. That's why we need a 12-team playoff. So then you can have essentially both. All right, plenty more. A lot of questions coming in for Ask the Benchwarmers. We'll get to those coming up next. We'll talk some quarterback as well. Someone asked a question about what the quarterback situation looks like on Saturday. It's the end of the bench. Ask the Benchwarmers next on 100.7 The Score.
Playing time is not required. This is the End of the Bench podcast from 100.7 The Score.
That's right. Time for Ask the Benchwarmers. Get those questions in. Several in already on the Yates Flooring Center chat line. Keep them coming through that 100.7 The Score mobile app. Tweet us at 107 The Score, which you can find a couple of things there. A video of Lucas with his face distorted, blowing out a candle. It's a real punishment. Not much of a punishment. This is one of the easier ones too. I should have at least made him buy the pantyhose. That would have been more of the punishment. You know the cheapest I found a stupid My Little Pony phone case? This is stupid. Like $24.
Yes.
I'm not kidding.
Yes.
The punishment will not be the... Though I have thought it's going to be pretty awkward if I ever have to pull that out on a football road trip or at a basketball game or anything like that.
Well, yeah, you go to the post and Coach Gerlich's up there and you slide your phone up there and she stops the entire thing and says,
"Who's got that?"
What is that?
Yep. So
we can only hope for that.
Yeah. Only through December, though. But it's supposed to arrive tomorrow, by the way.
Cold weather's supposed to arrive, too, this Friday,
yes, it
right?
is.
What's the temp going to be at the game?
50s, I believe. I think.
Nice.
Very football weathery.
I love it.
High on Saturday is 52.
Oh, I like it.
Low is 26.
Oh.
Hide
Hide your plants.
Wet your plants.
Take care of your dogs.
All right, lots of questions in. What are 2 things you hated as a kid but like as an adult? Mine are naps and naps and spankings. Should have read that one first.
Says spanking? Is that what you said?
It said 2 things you hated as a kid but like
That
as
is
an adult.
smart.
Oh my gosh.
That is smart.
You
That's
guys are great.
funny.
Do you have 2 things that you hate as a kid? Naps are for sure up there.
I think I liked naps as a kid. No, my mom said I wouldn't sleep for
Yeah,
nothing.
I didn't. You still don't sleep.
That's true.
Naps are like very high on the list. I love a good nap. I haven't had one in a while.
So my mother, her go-to to cook for us was tuna casserole.
You didn't like it?
And I hated that tuna casserole. I crave that thing now.
Really?
Yes. I can still taste it. Tuna casserole. I mean, like, sounds gross, right? Probably is gross, but
no, it's pretty good. I
would love to eat some of that.
My other one would probably be guacamole. Couldn't stand it as a kid. Now I've come around. Guac.
Well, I mean, we're back to the spicy foods. You don't eat spicy foods as a kid.
No, someone asked, speaking of, hey, fellas, what's your favorite spicy food dish?
Well, I like to really crank up chili to a spicy level with some cayenne, and I don't ever get to do it because nobody in my house will eat it, so I got to make it kind of more neutral. But if I'm cooking that for me, it's got cayenne, it's got definitely Louisiana hot sauce, maybe even some jalapeno seasoning. I just love jalapenos on nachos and everything. So you can kind of take everything and make a pizza. You make pizza hot, so a lot of it. And then I think the best though is a good spicy chicken wing.
Oh, yeah, that's probably it for me. But chili rellenos are another one.
But they're not that spicy.
They can be. Generally speaking, you're right.
Anaheim chili or a poblano.
If you leave some seeds in there, it can. But you're right. Generally speaking, it's not that spicy.
Nah.
But I love good chili relleno. Chicken wings are probably it for me. I love some wings. Flats or drums?
Flats.
Flats all the way. Patrick asked, do we win Saturday night? I'm not tipping my hand yet.
Me either.
Because I honestly don't know. I don't know what I'm going to pick by Friday.
Me either.
My confidence goes down witut Barron, but it's still a very winnable game. Every game you have left on the schedule is winnable or losable. As cliche as I can get there, but that's what it is. Someone else said, I'm concerned we go 0-5 to end our season. Not going to sit well. Enthusiasm will be really low. What say you?
Well, I mean, you're forgetting the automatic OU win at the end of the year.
Automatic.
So don't worry about that. To me, the lesson is it's really hard to win football games.
It is.
And you can have a hype man like Joey McGuire and have all the promotional videos in the world and have what you think is a tough, decent football team. I don't think they've been good.
Mm-hmm.
They've been decent. and you feel like one week you can look and see all these wins, and then the next week you look and you go, I don't know if we're going to win another one. So
yeah. But you go and pound the doors off of Kansas this weekend. I'm just saying, just like the feeling of West Virginia. If you were to go have another game like that,
we're going to go win names.
We're going to win all three.
Yeah,
that's the feeling.
So
it's such a roller coaster.
I think you
season.
Just right now have to sit in some patience,
which is hard to do, and see what it looks like on game day, and then the next, and hope you can get it going down the stretch, because it's tough to win football games. Someone else asked, best place to buy tickets for when OU comes to town. Help first-time attendee. So first time you'd get to go to a game. Awesome.
TexasTech.com.
Yeah, there's still tickets available for sale. I wouldn't count on you winning tickets, but I do know we'll be giving away tickets to that game too. So,
and I don't know, because my answer for years and years and years would be show up 2 hours before.
Yeah.
Put however many tickets you need in the air, and just do a cash transaction.
It's hard to do now.
I don't know how that works these days.
Because it's not exclusive, but almost exclusively mobile tickets.
Transfer it on mobile tickets, and I know there's ways to do it, but I don't know how.
Then you're putting trust into someone you just met and something like that.
Yeah, what's your email address? I mean, it's just that's one thing about the paperless stuff that I don't like.
Yeah, same here. I am a fan of the old
But
school.
I bet you in 3-4 years, I'll be fine. I mean, I downloaded the app and I order from the concessions off the app now, and that's something I never thought I would do, but it's by far the best way to do it. So,
yeah,
there.
Well, Benchmark Hotline. Let's head to the Benchmark Hotline real quick. I believe Bobby's on the line. What's up, Bobby? Pretty good. And you?
If they expect to get to any type of bowl games, they have to win this week for sure.
I think you're right. This feels like one confidence-wise, momentum, all of that. Plus, of the 3 games left, I think this is the, at least right now, easiest remaining on the schedule. So, I agree with you.
And the way they played against Oklahoma State, they killed Oklahoma State.
Yeah.
So.
Well, appreciate the call, Bobby.
All right.
Hax, you agree with that?
Yeah.
It's a must win if you're going to a bowl game. I mean, obviously, you still have opportunity to win the last 2, but it just feels like you got to stop the bleeding.
Yes.
You gotta find a way to get right this
fall
week.
off the cliff if you drop one at home.
It's still a possibility
Kansas.
Mathematically, but this is one you've got to go get.
Something really quickly, you were the 6th most watched football game on Week 10 with 2.5 million viewers on Fox, just behind Florida and A&M, Tennessee and Georgia, the big number, 13.1 mil.
Yeah.
Alabama, LSU, Ohio State, Northwestern, Clemson, Notre Dame, and then Texas Tech and TCU. Ahead of Penn State, Indiana, and Cal USC.
Interesting. Hax, who impressed you besides Bacho Man last night?
Pop Isaacs did. Kerwin Walton did. O'Banner just did what he needed to do.
Yeah.
When games are on the line, that's when you'll see him hopefully step to the forefront of everything. Lamar Washington impressed me.
I thought so too. Yeah.
That's just a freshman coming out of prep school, former Gatorade Player of the Year in Oregon. I liked what I saw out of him. Really did.
Agreed.
And Daryl Dora is impressed with him. Daryl met with us at halftime, which he always does. And he told me how much he loves Lamar's game, and just I see some toughness and some grit from that guy, and that's what you got to have in this league.
2 quick ones to close it out. Do you think you'd look better bald or with a man bun? I'm going man bun for me, and I don't like my man buns in general, but I think I have such a lumpy head.
Bald.
Jackson probably wears his in a man bun.
He can do man bun right now.
I know. It's the end of the bench. That's all the time we have today. Appreciate you joining us. Be back at it tomorrow with a Hump Day edition. He's Hax, Jack's Choice on 100.7 The Score.
This has been the End of the Bench podcast from 100.7 The Score. Go to 107thescore.com for more from the Double T Sports Network.